Hello and welcome back to Technology Review. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. You can find me on Facebook, all social media outlets and networks out there. Facebook, remember to give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, folks. We're on Twitter as well. You can find me at Twitter at twitter.com/Mac Jackson Jr. or go to my website, macjacksonjr.com. Let's see, I want to say hello to Don. Hello, Don. Hello, Debbie. And Alma, how are you doing? Great, guys. Thank you for being a part of our show here, Technology Review. In this segment, we call the Business Spotlight. Now, in this spotlight, we talk about what businesses should do, right? If you own a company or corporation, you are in business, folks, and you need to protect your customers' data. Now, it's not just putting it on a spreadsheet on your laptop and exposing this information, folks. You are responsible for making sure that your customers' personal, identifiable information is safeguarded, right? Safeguarding. What we're talking about is their credit card, of course, that's kind of obvious. But there's other information about your customers. What if you're collecting their birth dates, their driver's license number, VIN numbers, any type of information like that, and they're giving it to you, it's your responsibility to make sure it is protected, and protected with making sure you have the right software to track and store this information. So if you're doing it with your customers, you need to make sure you protect it. Also, folks, there's a new law in being enforced on May 21st called GDPR. It stands for General Data Protection Regulation. General Data Protection Regulation, folks, GDPR. It's out of the EU over in Europe, and basically it states that if your customer is a European customer over in Europe and they request to have their data forgotten, you have to remove their data, folks. There are certain stipulations and exemptions as well, so definitely talk to your accountant or your attorney if you have one and find out if your company qualifies for this new law, GDPR, and make sure that you're not going to be stuck with any fines and penalties that you'll be stuck with using GDPR. It's an interesting regulation, folks, and it's something that we're thinking about over here in the US by having your data removed. In other words, companies really shouldn't be able to keep your personal identifiable information in their records for decades. That's what the information about. It's your privacy. Making your privacy and basically keeping your privacy private. That's the most important part about this. That is the new GDPR. And it's, again, a European rule that the US businesses will comply with, and other countries around the world. And it's going to be interesting to see. May 25th is when this starts. So if you get a chance, Google it, talk to your bookkeeper, your accountant, and find out about this and see how it would affect your business. Now, your company, how are you at risk? Well, looking at the possibility of a data breach within your organization. When I mean a data breach, folks, I mean having information stolen from your business regarding your customers. When I mean stolen, it could be copied, a hacker or a insider threat, meaning a disgruntled employee could make a copy of all your customer records, let's say, and take that information and sell it to another organization. That's also part of it. That's illegal as well. But that could be done within your business. So it's important that you make sure that your employees understand their roles and responsibilities as well. That taking information from your business is illegal and is a breach of your company code and company's policy. But a lot of companies are starting to realize this, and they're starting to take notice and doing something about this. Others are basically saying, well, we're not going to worry about this. We're not going to put our time and money into it. And those are the ones that I would be very cautious with, because you're thinking it won't happen to them, folks. It's not, I know you heard the cliches before, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? And when it does happen, what are you going to do about it? So in other words, what policies do you have in place to protect your customers' data? And what happens if there is a data breach? What do? You contact your lawyers, you contact your accountants, they'll ask you the same thing. What policies have you had in place? And if you don't have anything in place, well, there could be fines and penalties for it. So the thing to remember, folks, the bottom line here is businesses are not looking to map their cybersecurity threats to their bottom line. That is the basic answer for this. Companies are not mapping their cybersecurity threats to their bottom line. They're not looking at the expense for this. The average expense is about $141 a record. So if your company has 10,000, 20,000 records, well, you're a little small corporation, multiply it out. If you're a large mega corporation with millions and millions of records, just again, multiply the $141 in its current to date time, number of records, and that's what your liability could be. It could cost you millions of dollars. Now, this is everything from financial losses to reputational damage to legal entanglements because of this. Attorney generals around the country are going after businesses, and well as employees too, if they're found negligent in this data loss as well. So these are some things you really have to be concerned with and watch out for. I'd like to talk to you about a policy here. One of the things that you could do is, one of the things you can make sure you do is back up your data. It's very, very important to make sure it's backed up because one of the biggest threats right now that's happening to businesses is, of course, malware, which you guys understand, malware, viruses that can infect your computer system. But one of the big ones that's going on right now is ransomware. Ransomware, folks. Ransomware is up. It's up on the rise. It's rising right now. The threats of ransomware affecting small businesses. And what this means is a small business will get an attack with ransomware, and what happens is the information and data on your laptop, your desktop computer, it becomes scrambled, unreadable. There's a message that states that if you'd like to have this data unscrambled, contact this number. Well, of course, if you tell that to the police, they can't trace the number because it could be anywhere in the world now with technology and using 800 numbers. It could be based anywhere in the world. And the only way you can get the data back is by paying this ransom. So how do you avoid that? Well, folks, one of the best ways to do it is with backups. Make sure that you have invested in a backup system, and not just a backup system, folks. I recommend having a policy behind this, a backup policy that you back up any data that's important. You could back up, however many times. I can't say once or twice. You could back up numerous times per day, but just knowing that when you back up numerous periods of time, you have that much more protection of your data, because if there are ransomware in your system, folks, and your data, your computer system is locked up, you won't be able to have access to your data anymore. And having a good, thorough backup, you'll be able to go back in time and reinstall a previous backup, and all your data should be intact. So definitely be concerned with that, folks. It's very important. So in summary, too, I'd like to let you know, in this section, we talk about policies and procedures. You need to make sure you have policy and procedures in your organization to protect your customers and your employees from data loss and data compromise by scammers. Make sure you do a backup several times a day if necessary. So make sure you invest in a good backup system with your data. If your data is in the cloud, yes, that's a good place for it. There, you could back it up there or have it backed up for you. But the main thing, folks, with those, even with that little bit of recommendations and information, the major thing you should be concerned with is your employees, having them trained. Training is incredibly important, because with just a little mistake, information can leave your organization. So I would suggest making sure that your employees are trained by contacting our company or companies like us and have cybersecurity awareness training for your employees. It's very, very important to do, because the biggest defense that we have, folks, out there against a cyber attack is through education and knowledge, right? We've heard the saying before, knowledge is power, and it really is. So make sure you do that. Find out more information about this, contact myself, MacJacksonJr.com. That's MacJacksonJr.com. Also, let me throw in a couple of other ones here too. Yes, we want you to concentrate on stronger passwords too. Let me give you a couple more recommendations before we go. We have a few minutes here. Strong passwords, folks. Strong passwords on your computer systems, and I mean a passphrase. Your password should be complex. You should have upper lowercase characters, numeric characters, and a special character set up. Have your passphrase set up. It makes it something easy for your family to understand, and something you don't need to write down, because writing it down, folks, is not a good idea. If you write it down, that paper's lost or compromised by someone taking a snapshot photo of it, then you have a possibility their data can be lost or stolen. So again, folks, do not write it down, but make sure you set up a passphrase or something that you can understand and easy to utilize. Let's see. Those are just some of the things we have here, folks. And again, to find out about how to get a hold of me, very simply, again, go to MacJacksonJr.com. It's MacJacksonJr.com. Find out more information about what we do. Also, you could text. Send me a text, folks, a special text to 444-999. Text the word MAC, M-A-C-K, 444-999 to MACK, and I'll send you some special information on our services. We'll be right back, folks, for Technology Review after these messages.